Recently, I met up with James Bomalick, who is the action and special effects director behind the movie Blue, and he's worked on several big-budget Hollywood movies also, like Die Hard 4. So we've always kind of wondered how they do these big crashes and big explosions, and what's the technical know-how behind it. So James was kind enough to give us a sneak peek into the kind of techniques that they use. So here are excerpts from my interview with him. Check it out.
Start with car action, it's easy.
Yep.
You will see cars get hit and fly through the air. Typically you use nitrogen cannons for those, using very highly compressed, 100-bar reservoirs of nitrogen to force a piston out of the bottom of the car to cause it to flip multiple times in the air. In Blue, you'll see a car get hit by a police car, and it flies 10 meters in the air while rotating in several directions at once. So what we do is we decide which cars, and these are with people driving them. There's someone in the car while this happens. And what we do is decide which car, how we want it to work, how we want it, and we work out the physics more or less of what's going to happen. And then we place these cannons in the cars. And the way that's done is you have to fully cage a car, just like you would a race car. It has steel tube everywhere in the car to give it rigidity, because otherwise the cannon would shoot right through the car and up into space, and the car would just be sitting on the ground. Because the cannons we use at 100 bar produce 64,000 pounds of force. So you're lifting a 3,000 pound or thereabout object with a 64,000 pound force against the ground and sending it in the air. So that's how we do a lot of these various spins and flips and flying through the air. Another thing we do is we use what we call ratchets, again, highly compressed nitrogen and inert gas, through a large cylinder that pulls a ram, and it is attached to a cable, so we can make cars spin and fly hundreds of feet through the air for real. The motorcycle stunts, we really did drive bikes up and down on trains. We really did jump car to car. We really did jump on the trains. And again, it's calculations, speed, acceleration, angle of the ramp to get the bike on top of an 18-foot tall train. All these things become very important in calculating all this out. I do that with my team from Actiontek. We sit down and go, okay, we're going to do this. So then we figure out how much things weigh, how high they have to go, and we plug it into several programs in the computer which tell us what the trajectory is going to be, and then we rehearse. So you have multiple bikes that are all prepared with special suspension. And for Blue, in particular, we had the Ducati 999 and a Hayabusa, which is a 1300cc motorcycle jumping onto a train. Now, inherently, these bikes are not jumping bikes. So what we did was we built special bikes to look just like them, but they were based on motocross bikes. But we changed the wheels, the tires, changed everything about them, and put all the bodywork from those motorcycles onto their twins or clones. So now we have the suspension, we have the balance, we have all of that in these bikes, but they look just like the Ducatis and the Hayabusa, only they weigh 180 kilos instead of 300 kilos. And they're actually able to go up the ramp and jump and fly through the air much nicer balance than the street bikes, which are not designed for that. And we also have a camera motorcycle, which we'll get some pictures for you. For Blue, we shot with this, and you put a lever head, which is a gyro-stabilized camera mount. So that way, no matter which way the camera, the road can be bouncy, I can lean, whatever, the camera automatically gyro stabilizes, plus it can tilt and pan.
What about blowing things up, pyrotechnics?
We've been known to do that. Pyrotechnics is a lot of work. People don't realize to blow something up is not simple, especially because you want to time it so that you get the most footage on film that you can get. So you have to say, how do you want the house to blow up? Like in Blue, you could just have it be there 1 minute and gone the next. You've got 24 frames a second. You've got 2 frames of film done. Or you can choreograph the explosion with various types of explosives placed in different places and staggered timings. So the house can shatter, push out, blow up, then turn into a fireball. So you choreograph it in millisecond timing with big firing boards that have delays and everything built in, and you adjust how you want it seen, and you fire it that way. Now, most people think it's just about a big explosion. Well, it's not, because if there's too much fire, you can't see anything. If the fire starts out right away, you really don't see anything, it blots out the frame. So it doesn't help. You want to see it. It's a visual medium. So plus, if it's too fast, it's 1 minute you see it, and the next minute you don't. So there's a whole lot of work that goes into setting the timing, setting the types of explosives. Some are faster than others. And now it comes down to type used. You have to take the structure and weaken the structure, because in Hollywood we don't want it. I mean, this isn't the military. I'm not trying to create a crater in the ground. I'm trying to blow up a house artistically.
Yeah.
So you try to use the least amount of explosives to get the most visual impact out of it. It's a trade-off. Otherwise it would be far too dangerous. So you have to sit and weaken the house. It takes a lot of preparation to cut beams and prop things up and focus directions of mortars. We use large, 50 kilo or bigger steel tubes to put the explosives in. We put wet sand in them so that they create this huge pushing force that knocks walls down and throws things out and around. So when you do this all, the house in blue, we had 100 mortars in the house, all these large steel mortars, in large racks pointing in different directions to achieve different results.
ชอบทะเลาะกันพอสักทีดูแลความรักด้วยจิตใจอย่าให้มันลุกขึ้นเป็นไฟก่อนที่มันจะสายเกินไปแก้ไม่ได้หัวใจจะร้องละลายเรื่องเท้าความรักที่มีหายจนหายจะเหลือแค่เพียงวิญญาณหัวใจจะร้องละลายเรื่องเท้าแม้ไม่ได้สักเหมือนสักคนมันทรมานคุณก็รู้มีคนสับสนในจิตใจบางคนที่เพราะว่าปวดใจมองไปทางไหนไม่มีความรักเลยในสังคมมีใครบ้างไหมเดินออกไปเดินเอาความรักไปดับไฟก่อนที่มันจะสายเกินไปแก้ไม่ได้หัวใจจะร้องละลายเรื่องเท้าความรักที่มีหายจนหายจะเหลือแค่เพียงวิญญาณหัวใจจะร้องละลายเรื่องเท้าแม้ไม่ได้สักเหมือน